Hello, beautiful people. It's great having you on the show and welcome to Viewpoint. You already know, talk show, really talk as EB. As usual, we will delve into topics that range from politics, education, current events, entertainment, social issues, health, and so much more. You know how we do it. Watching us from home or on the go, just sit back, relax as we delve into these stimulating conversations. I am Hadiza Galadima, and together with me in the studio today is Confidence and Shamsuddin. And thank you for joining us. And now, straight to the business of the day, let's get started. The future depends on what we do in the present, and that was from Mahatma Gandhi. We will be talking about pension reforms and the plight of Nigerian senior citizens. We will also talk about suicide, and later on the show, we will talk about nudity, that is the phenomenon of cloud chasing, understanding the motivation and consequences of seeking online attention and validation. All this and more after the break.
Experience the acceleration of Oweleketv. Get the latest news from the glitz and glamour of the entertainment industry to the pulse-pounding realm of sports. We provide accurate and up-to-date information, exclusive interviews with top political analysts that will leave you craving more. Our team of professionals delivers captivating content from Nigeria and beyond. Follow us on our social media handles at Oweleketv. Visit our website at www.oweleket.tv for a thrilling journey. Oweleketv, rising star at the fairground.
Welcome back. This is Viewpoint, talk show, really talk as EB. Pension reform is of growing importance in many countries around the world, especially in this part of the world, Nigeria. As populations age and the proportion of older people increases, the plight of senior citizens, particularly those on fixed incomes, have become increasingly difficult in recent years as the cost of living has risen and government support for retirement benefits has dwindled. The plight of senior citizens can be severe. Many are forced to choose between paying for basic necessities like food, housing, house care, and fulfilling other financial obligations like paying bills and servicing debt. Unfortunately, this can lead to a circle of debt and poverty that can be difficult to escape. So which pops the question, what measures can be taken to ensure that senior citizens receive adequate pensions? We know the story of Nigeria now.
So I think let's start with, from time immemorial, we've had a situation whereby a lot of people, when they retire, so it takes an average of 5 years before a retiree, gets pension. And I think, the pension is what they are being placed on. There's what we call pension as gratuity. So some of them, they get their gratuity maybe almost immediately. Then the pension is meant to be, it takes a lot of time, documentation and everything. And that's how a lot of them have been able to do. So I think, so now what measures can be taken? So for me, I would say, for those that are currently in service now, that you already know that you're going to retire. So one of the things is to start building passive income as you work. So if it means maybe having a side hustle or having a side business that is going to start generating. So you don't want to keep yourself at the mercy of the government so that when you now retire, you now say, okay, fine. Because there is something that has to do with cash flow. Cash flow has a principle. There is this thing that that, okay, at the end of the month, something is coming for me. So it goes beyond, okay, fine, I'm just collecting 2 million naira, boom, and nothing happens again. So that's particular cash flow that comes every month or every, like as you have it, if it is not coming again, no matter how, even if you've built assets, you have houses, you have this thing, if that cash flow is not coming again, I know how it feels like. So sometimes some people slip into depression, some people even get frustrated at the end of the day, and you always want to pity people, and you will now be asking questions. Is it the wrong thing to even say, okay, you want to serve as a, yes. So and that's the more reason why this issue of pension government retirees is one of the reasons why a lot of people, young people, don't want to go into the civil service. Because they look at, okay, fine, after serving government for 30 years or maybe 35 years and maybe getting to 60 years of age, you come back and you have to still now start suffering. So a lot of people feel that, okay, fine, the best way to do is let me go do my own private business, maybe build my retirement plan before getting to a certain age so that I will not be at the mercy of the government. So what I would say personally is, if we have somebody who is currently in the civil service, it doesn't matter at which level you are now. So there are some things that you need to start building. Number one is they'll call it real estate. So if you need to get a house, so possibly even if it's a mortgage, so federal government have some mortgage plans for this thing. So if you use for civil servants, you know that okay, this one is already off you. So you don't have somebody that will start coming to knock at your door after for rent. So you've put that out. The next one is to have a passive income. So if it's a business that you know how to do very well. So I know people who, after retirement, they still in the service. So for some of them, they now start serving as consultants. So if you know that you want to go into consulting after service, what you need to start doing is to start building your profile while still in service. So that you know that, okay, fine, I might not be going out every day again, but you know that I'm still agile, I can still do some things. So, but most times, a lot of people are not even, maybe above 60. They are not that agile to do physical work again. So you might want to start building maybe a business or something, or you might create an investment flow. Maybe you want to buy stock that will actually have a higher chances of you getting more returns in the long run. So some of those things that will be bringing in money. So not one, not two, not three. So at the tail end of you retiring, you have something to fall back to. So you have some persons who are at the tail end of retirement, they already maybe have houses and they have maybe put it for rent. So they have something coming in maybe at least once in a year. They know that, okay, once my tenants pay rent, like maybe January, for example, they know that, okay, fine, I have something to also plan with. So that way it helps you. So even if the pension comes, and if it doesn't come, so you are not at the you are comfortable. You are not at the you are at the government. You are not at the mercy of the government to now say, look, these things. Then you know that's more reason why if you go around a federal secretariat and maybe there is a protest and all that, you want to shed tears. And you want to look at these people, they also had dreams. These people also had this thing. At some point in time when they were in service, they were very agile, they were this. So aging is something that is natural. Everybody is going to grow. Even as much as you're still alive, you're going to grow old and you're going to grow weak and gray. So within that period, you are no more as strong as you used to be. So definitely there are some things that you are limited that you can't do again. So one thing is anybody that is going into civil service nowadays, I think the best way for them is to start planning their retirement right from the day you start your job.
Yes. So, how can a pension scheme be more accessible and affordable to the elderly? Because we see them when they are going to, it's not always easy for them. Most of them, you see them cry, some of them will slump, some of them will faint, and all that. How can it be more accessible?
It's just, like the same thing that that Shamsuddin was saying. I just wanted to add something quickly.
All right.
He said something about starting a retirement plan immediately you enter into civil service. It's very important. Buy assets, buy land. I've seen a lot of civil servants that have retired and they have nothing to show for it. And when you hear the experts these people did in office, you'll be asking yourself, so what did you use all that money for? I think the thing that is killing Nigerians is that they think that when they get to a particular seat or a particular role, in the health of affairs, they think that they'll stay there forever. You think your entire family will be there forever. Even if your entire family members are going to be there forever, you in particular, power will change hands. So I think think it's one of the things that is, the mentality that I'm entitled and this national cake will keep coming for me, and you forget that things will change. So that's number one. Some of them work, aside from the fact that the government of Nigeria is messed up. Some of them, these people, they work, but they don't plan. They don't look, they don't foresee, they don't see, farther than their nose. They don't tell themselves that there's a time that, okay, I'm going to retire. Let me start working on something. And that's why when retirement comes, like, you see some people telling you that they are retiring and they feel depressed because there's really nothing to show for it. And it should not be like that. And secondly, I think the government should actually even make it easier for the citizens, because as much as we try to say let's cater for ourselves, we have a government, and we say we are under this government, and the government should be able to provide the citizens with their pensions, not make it hard. If we say this 5 years, if we say this 3 years, sometimes you go to the bank, you want to process all these documents, and it takes so much. The process of documentation alone, some people just give up and they say, what, let the government hold these pensions. Now, on how the pension scheme can be made, I think it also falls back on the government again, and then on the citizens as well. If there are documents that you need to get ready, you need to start asking questions early. Some people start to think about documentation when they retired. And I don't want to say it's already too late, but some people started making plans before you.
Yes.
Like Mr. Shamsuddin said, once you get into that seat, you begin to make your plans. Start asking questions. Okay, what am I supposed to have done? What am I supposed to do? Some people don't do it. And then you now wait for do your own part. And then I think the government should also, there should be, things put in place to make it easier for everybody. If there are documentations you're supposed to get, start saying it, you understand? Start put awareness, do hold seminars on how to make these things easier. And, last but not least, you as the civil servants, please have a plan for yourself. Don't depend on government. Nobody depends on the government of Nigeria again. You can set up a business. You might not be running that business. You can have people. There are a lot of people that do it. You will never see them in that place, but they are monitoring whatever they are doing. Set up businesses. Look for something good that you can do for yourself. Don't wait for the government.
Well, like you said, invest in yourself, because like most Nigerian youths, they will tell you, I do not want to have anything to do with the government because I've seen how my parents suffer and like chasing their pension and all that. So they wouldn't even want to do anything or work for the government, which is really, really sad. And I think, like you said, the government should really look into it.
And I think, let me just quickly make this intervention, which is very important. I just want to correct this notion. So we have pension organizations, private pension firms, and now some private organizations now are also enlisting their staff into pension scheme. So even if at the end of the day you tend to leave them maybe after 10 years of work, so they will calculate your pension and give it. There's now an integrated platform that makes the new pension reform that make the pension scheme very very easier and faster. But then there are some people who are not enrolled in that. So I think was it 2004 or so that they started. So if you are in the civil service before 2004, so so some of them. So that's why we see. So we hope that, and the reasons why the pension scheme in Nigeria is at this level is even while we have this, so there are a lot of people who have been at the ends of affairs at the pension commission who have embezzled pensioners' money. There's a certain amount that is being deducted every month to say they find it, but at the end of the day, what happens? Somebody will just sit down. People's hard-earned sweat, and that this is what they're going to get at the end of the day. You just sit down, embezzle it, and nothing happens.
Honestly, that's why I keep saying don't wait for the government, because some of these pension schemes, people are enrolled in it. I have friends who that are earning money, they work in civil service, and some of their pensions are growing. But you see, some of them tell you that I know they look this thing. I'm looking for something, building something for myself, so that if it comes, good and fine. If it doesn't, you're also good.
Yeah.
For to you viewers out there, we would love to have your take as regards what we just discussed right now. So do get involved in our comment section. We would love to hear from you. All right, let's go on a short break. We'll be right back. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Moving on, we will be talking about suicide. So according to the World Health Organization, more than 700,000 people die due to suicide every year. making it the second leading cause of death among people aged 15 to 29. Suicide is a growing public health concern with profound impact on individuals, families, communities, and societies. It is the act of intentionally ending one's life, and it can occur in any age group, gender, or socio-economic status. Suicide is a complex phenomenon that arises from the combination of biological, psychological, social, and environmental factors. The reason behind suicide are multifaceted, and many include mental illness, relationship problems, substance abuse, financial difficulties, and traumatic events such as abuse, bullying, or loss of a loved one. So, what are some of the misconceptions about suicide?
This one is deep. And this particular topic,
This was
would I say there are misconceptions about suicide? I would rather say that people take it lightly.
likely.
Yes, because I personally, I don't think, I stand corrected, that there are misconceptions about it. I think people take it as, they treat suicide with kids' glove, and it's a very serious thing plaguing especially the young people. If you look at that demographic between 15 to 29,
29.
it is sad. I'm just remembering when I was in school, and I think 3, 4, 5 years ago, we're hearing stories in a particular year. People were just dying, and you look at the cause of the death, suicide. I'm like, I can't I don't know how to bring myself to the realization that somebody would actually want to take their lives.
Yeah.
But then when you look at some of the things people go through, we're not defending suicide. But I will always say that there's nothing that should happen to somebody that will be enough for somebody to take their life. But then again, there are certain things that happen that leads up to suicide. People don't just commit suicide. There's a background work. There's a root cause. There's something that happens. There's a build up. Exactly. There's a trigger. There's a build up, and then that person commits suicide. So I think, like I said, it's not misconception. People are taking it lightly. Mental health is very important, and while we as Nigerians, while we like to joke about mental health, when somebody talks about it, people laugh and say everything that depression for una. I think it's something that should be taken very seriously.
Yeah.
Mental health, because it's once you're not fine mentally, trust me, there are a lot of things that's going to happen to that person. Depression, loneliness, there's schizophrenia, all those scientific names, all those things, they are, connected to a person's mental health. And I feel like people should be able to have people around them.
Yeah.
A support system that can help them, because sometimes there are things that you cannot go through alone.
Yeah.
Life is hard. Let's put it the way it is. Life is hard. There are things that people cannot go through alone. And I think family, from the angle of the family, I think family members should also look after themselves, their children.
Yeah.
There are things that some people go through and they don't have anybody to talk to. It's just their family members. So I think family members should endeavor to be present, not just physically but mentally. There are a lot of people that are present in your life physically, but mentally they are not there. Take for example a father and a mother that goes for routine medical exams for the children, and they are filling in forms, and both of them have different forms that they are filling for their children, and the father is asking the mother this. So it's not enough to be there physically, you have to be there mentally as well. Ask questions. How are you? Don't just ask because you feel like, if I know ask now, they will say, ask because you actually want to know. Because sometimes these people that go through, young people that go through stuff will not talk, because of stigma. They don't want to say, I'm going through this, so that somebody will not say you are just a lazy person. You're just, and okay, I think, like I said, I stand corrected. Sometimes people will say, okay, this person will tell you I'm having suicidal thoughts, and the first thing that will come to your mind is you're just a lazy person. You don't have anything you're doing. That's why you can be thinking about suicide. I don't think that's the way to go. When somebody says, somebody can be in the midst of people and be very lonely.
Yeah.
And depression is not written on the face. I can be laughing with you. I'm the life of the party. I'm the life of the, of the office. I'm the life of the organization. But I can be very depressed. So it's not written on the face. And that's why there should be deep conversations. That's why I talked about support system. If you can help the person get access to a therapist, is a good thing. I think these are some of the little measures that you can put into place that would help prevent suicide.
So, like, what are some of the preventive measures?
So I think confidence has actually touched some part of the preventive measures. So one thing that is very important for us to know is the fact that the way suicide is, there's a process to it.
Yeah.
So from the part of people just feeling that, when somebody is broken, they had trust issues.
Yeah.
And somebody can actually be, like she said earlier, the life of the party, like going and all that. But there's a course I took recently, and it was on mental health. It said those people who are the life of the party. And, because I used to have a friend where, like, all of us, we at some point in time become vulnerable, we go and share our thoughts, and always the receptive type. Like, you always feel that, okay, you don't have any problem in this life. So it was after that course I was told that people like that are actually very dangerous. Yeah. And they're actually sitting on a time bomb.
Yeah.
Because they tend to make sure that they
suppress
every sense of vulnerability. They suppress it to so at the time at which they are going to explode, it's going to be very tough.
Yes.
So it's in ways and which we can actually be prevent suicide is it's okay to be vulnerable.
Yes.
Very okay.
So some people will say, okay, I don't want to be vulnerable. It's okay because nobody has it all figured out in life.
At all.
So you shouldn't say that, okay, yes.
Things are not working for
yes,
you.
Things are not working for you. Then it becomes a stigmatization and people will now say, okay, why are you depressing? So it's okay to be vulnerable. And it's okay not to be okay.
Yeah.
So it's very important for us to note that. So when people note that, so when something happens in life, it's okay that for you to know that, okay, yes, it is not only you that is going through that. A lot of people are going through it, and definitely they're going to come out of it stronger. So it's better you understand that. Then when you understand that, that's a leeway for you to start keeping depressive thoughts. So when things doesn't work out, it's not like maybe you're the bad person or the world is against you or things like that. It's just like, okay, it's just natural that things will fail at some point in time in life. And after a while, you also overcome it and become better. So the ability to say, okay, if I make lemonade out of lemon, it's, yes. So it's something that is actually very important for us to note.
Well, there's this psychological fact or psychological saying that says most of the loudest people are actually the most loneliest people. So, like you guys just said, it is very, very important to speak out. It's very important to talk. Surround yourself with people who love you, so that when some people
people you can be vulnerable with.
Yes, exactly. Some people you can't talk to, and they will not help.
Exactly. People you can be vulnerable with, people who you can talk to, actually. So let's get your thoughts in our comment sections, all right? Let's go on a short break. We'll be right back. Please stay with us. Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us. Up next, we will talk about nudity, that is the phenomenon of clout chasing. The term clout chasing has been used to describe individuals who seek fame, recognition, or validation through social media and by any means possible. This has led to a situation where some individuals engage in behavior that is deemed as controversial, offensive, or downright as outrageous simply to draw attention to themselves and amass a following. One of the ways in which individuals attempt to gain clout is through nudity. This particularly is evident on social media platforms, like all social media platforms, but let's be specific, like Instagram and X, formerly known as Twitter, where users are increasingly posting sexual suggestive images and videos in a bid to gain followership and likes. So what are your thoughts on
GDT as a platform for
what could be the motivation for that?
Like we've said, it's just for cloud chasing.
Yeah.
And when people try as much as possible to create attention for themselves. There is a video I watched earlier today where
I was actually going to bring that as an example.
Yes, so there was a video I watched today. Nedu of Wazobia.
Yeah.
He said something after the death of Mohbad, and he said something critically that the lifespan of the fame of an artist is 2 years. He said only few.
Like genuinely?
Yes, he said only few who possibly had the grace of God with them are able to span through 5, some 10. And maybe the likes of Two-Face, they are 20, still standing, and a lot of people still hear their name. So, but the bulk who are maybe at the bottom of the pyramid, they are like just 2 years. So they will still be around after that 2 years. But yes, people might still be calling them to local shows, people will know them, but the fame. So when you understand that, and you know, okay, this is, and at every point in time, somebody told me that at every point in every human's life, there's a time whereby you know that the world, everybody, the attention is on you.
Yes.
So what you make of at that time determines what happens next on your about your life.
Yeah. Your career.
And this is not the first time I was hearing that. I listened to this guy, to Teju Babyface.
Yeah.
He said, he started up as a comedian and later on he switched to acting. Then he now faced his talk show. So he also said it that at a point in time he realized that thing will continue to come. The world attention will be on you. Then what you do with that period determines the next phase of your life. So, but a lot of them fail to realize this. They always feel that the attention will be on them forever. So, but then not knowing that the concept of life is at some point in time, even when you are still there, yes, people still know you as a A-rated artist, then there won't be that particular attention anymore. So because they don't want to come to that realization, they always look at gimmicks, ways to actually do that.
To stay relevant.
So part of the ways they stay relevant, one is releasing sexually seductive videos and pictures. Some other ones, they can actually create controversy. So you see that, okay, they will claim that, okay, I'm fighting this person. Then the blogs all over will be buzzing and all that, just to make sure that they are relevant. So if they discover that, okay, just to wake up in the morning, nobody's talking about me, nothing. So they create that kind of buzz so that just to remain relevant. But the reality is you really don't need it if you are able to take advantage of that particular point in time. And one thing is, don't always want to claim that I want to blow. Why not just stay consistent over time?
Exactly.
So, it's the story of the tortoise and the hare. They say slow and steady wins the race. Not that when you now run after a while you get tired. And you now want to say, okay, fine. When you get tired, you have to relax. Then after relaxing, you now think, okay, what do I do next? Let me just look for another gimmick. So part of the gimmicks is to chase that cloud just to be relevant again. And those are just the steps they use.
Because, like they say, slow and steady wins the race. But on the flip side, there's a saying again that counters that saying. Slow and steady now last people carry, so they don't want to carry last. Okay, come in. Like there have been a video circulated the internet about Moyo Lawal and her leaked sexual tape, whereby they were saying some people said she was the one that released it herself, and other people were saying it was from the other party, and she threatened to take legal actions. What it should take as regards nudity and cloud chasing. Thank you.
Well, people would do literally anything to be heard, to be seen, for people to get to know them, for people to know that are they alive, are they exist. People would do. If you notice, the trends have changed. There was a time, my goodness, there was a time in our parents' time whereby nudity. You come out, you open your body, yourself, you'll be ashamed of yourself. But now anything goes. You can do whatever the heck you want to do and nobody will beat you. And it's not meant to be like that. So people will do literally anything to get fame, to get that. They do always say 2 minutes of, because it will not last. It will not last. 2 minutes of fame, and you just want to be and you know the funniest part of it, you want to be talked about, but you're not going to be talked about in a positive light. You'll be there will always be that reference. No be her sex tape leak. No be so and so. So there must be something negative about that fame that is attached to you. That's the danger of clout chasing, and especially in the concept of nudity. When people see that, most of the things they are doing, they cannot get relevance over it again. They add, because they already know that the internet is such a place that when you put out news, people will talk. Like, it sells. You know the way they say negative things sells. When you talk about it, it sells so fast because there are a lot of corrupt, abysmally corrupt people out there with mindsets that are so warped and messed up. So it sells. People want to talk. They already know that, okay, I've done this one and it's not working. I've done this one, it's not working. I think it's time to do sex tape. And you forget that history will never. I don't know. Haven't you seen some people that when they get to a particular point in their life, probably they've changed, they've stopped whatever it is they are doing, and they want to build their life. Let's take, for example, you get a government contract. The internet will never forget. That is the danger of it. Even if it's not government contract, let's say, okay, this person transforms and becomes maybe a minister or becomes an alpha, as the case may be, and that video surfaces. Let me tell you something. There is nothing you will ever do. That's why a friend will always say it's easier not to get into a thing than to get into it and come out.
Yeah.
Like you're doing it and you want to stop. It's harder. So it's easier not to even try it at all. As concerning Moyo Lawal, honestly, that news, I've just been looking at it. I've been weighing it on two sides, trying to find the balance for it. It's possible. These things you can't exactly say. Celebrities are wonderful people. Shamsuddin said something about some of them paying, to fight. I've heard it a lot of times. On one of the podcasts, which they do hosts, one of the artists came and said somebody told him, let's pay so blog, let's fight, let's pretend that we're fighting. So you see the level or the length to which people will go just to attain fame that will not last. The likes of Two-Face, that has been relevant, and people are still hearing about them. Check how they started. Check the way they started. They started small. They were consistent at what they were. Little drops will cause a compound effect. So as regarding Moyo Lawal and the video that was released, we really can't see. It is possible that she put it out there herself, and it is also possible that whoever she did it with put it out there. She's talking about legal actions. Question is, why would you be engaged in such a thing and take a video and think that something will not happen in such a way that this person will bring it out? I mean, look at the world we're in today. I can't make decisions for what I don't know how people think, and I can't make decisions for everybody. But why would you do it? You do it and then you leave it in that person's phone, and you think that, you're a celebrity, for crying out loud. Moyo Lawal is a well-known actress, and it's not a surprise that she's endowed. So there's no way that somebody might not want to use it, you understand, against her. So we can't say for sure whether probably she put it out there by herself or whether somebody is using it to blackmail her. But I think nudity as a platform for clout chasing, I think it's bad. Not even I think, it is bad, because the truth is, the internet will never forget. That is what people fail to realize. It will never forget. Years and years and years from now, it will surface. And it will surface in a time of your life where probably you're getting to a peak of your career, or there's something big wanting to happen for you.
The phenomenon of clout chasing is an explosive practice, and users should focus on creating content that enriches and educates their followers rather than exploiting their bodies for personal gain. That's it on today's edition. You already know, talk show where they talk be. Be part of our conversation by dropping your opinions in our comment sections, and don't forget to follow all our social media handles displayed on your screen for more episodes of Viewpoints. Subscribe, like, share, and turn on the little notification bell on our YouTube channel at Oweleketv. Our website is oweleketv.tv. Bye for now.
Bye.